Hello, everybody. Welcome to the FranciCast. I'm Francie, and here we have.
Francie again. Yeah, I got a little bit of a problem. My grandfather died, and then he cursed the next 5 generations with his name. That's
Oh my god.
typical problem. Yeah, that's the way we are going to start every single podcast, by the way, because the real name of this podcast is actually Chaos, Destruction, and Despair.
You remember the spare part?
Definitely the despair part.
Well, today we're
All
gonna
right.
go ahead and talk about the Steam releases, including Steam Deck, the Steam View, and Steam Controller, and even the Steam. Was it the box? What was it?
Steam Machine. It's called Steam Machine.
Steam Machine. Okay, Steam Machine.
Did you say it's the Steam frame?
Yeah, I said the Steam frame.
Okay, cool.
Maybe I'm not sure.
We're very prepared, as you can see, guys.
No, not really. We kind of wing it and see what
Also
sticks.
that, yeah. So I think a really good starting point would probably be the Steam Deck, honestly, especially because it has already been released, right?
Okay, yeah. I really wanted a Steam Deck in the past when I didn't have a gaming computer. I mean, like a gaming laptop. Sorry.
You did?
Yeah, I actually really wanted one because it's a compelling price. Okay, for less than what an actual laptop will go for, that a gaming laptop that usually is like $1,000 for a gaming laptop. Usually it's like that. You can get the best Steam Deck for like almost $700, which is a great deal.
Yeah, but like, it's actually like a great deal, and compared to the components, or just compared to like the laptops.
It's compared to the laptops. So compared to an actual gaming PC, I think it's pretty much priced accordingly. To be fair.
And that's very interesting, considering the fact that the Steam Deck is like sold at a loss. I don't know if they're still selling it at a loss, but it was sold at a loss.
I mean, like, it's a classic thing that Steam really does. Every single hardware that they release it in a way that their real big selling point is that SteamOS is the center of it. And SteamOS, you know what it's gonna have? The Steam Store. So they're gonna buy games for that.
The Steam Store.
Yeah, exactly.
You're definitely going to buy the games for the Steam Store, but they said how they are not going to sell their new products at a loss like they did for the Steam Machine, the Steam Deck. I mean, so I suppose it's not all. It's not suppose it's not all guns and roses. No, that's not the term actually. Wait, what's the proverb?
Don't know.
Forgot about it. Oh, it doesn't really matter that much. Guns N' Roses, though, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses. That's a big difference, man. It's between a Civic and a tank.
It's pretty much, yeah. So yeah. In my personal opinion, the Steam Deck has a bit of a problem when it comes to its like fundamental selling point, which is the portability. In my personal opinion,
why?
I mean, I've always played games through like the portable consoles, like the Nintendo portable consoles. So we're talking about the DS, the Nintendo 3DS, and a couple of Game Boy Advance games as well.
You're more of a Nintendo
so to
side.
me, I am on the Nintendo side, but it's not really about that. It's more like it's really about the portability of the Nintendo DS, the Nintendo 3DS, and the Game Boy Advance. I mean, one thing that has been truly forgotten about portable consoles is the fact that, yeah, they're smaller, as you said. But the main point is that they fit inside of pockets. Right? Like, you can, let's say that you're going out to your grandmother's house. And let's say that it's like 5 minutes away, right? And you don't want to bring like a massive bag, because basically everything that you care about is like already at your grandmother's house. You could simply use your pockets to bring the DS or the 3DS or whatever. And like, whilst it may seem like this isn't really important, considering quite a lot of people today have backpacks all the time. In my personal opinion,
I would bring a backpack.
Yeah, you bring a backpack all the time, yeah. Yeah. But like, I personally think if you had the chance to have this luxury, I think it would become a more fundamental part of your life. Because it's just so much more comfortable to know that if you want a game you just have it readily available in your pocket and you can bring it out even if you have a backpack. Because personally, it may be different for everybody, but personally, when I have a backpack, I have to kind of stop to grab something from it. I don't have to worry about that if I have my gaming console in the pocket.
Uh, the thing about your logic is that if I would bring, for example, a DS, I would still need to bring, for example, a charger in case if the battery goes low, or the cartridges to put them in the console. So at the end of the day, bringing a backpack still makes sense.
It absolutely does make sense if you have like 100,000 games. But the thing about the DS and the 3DS is that not only was the DS and 3DS portable, but also its games with its cartridges. So because of that, you could easily fit a couple of games inside of your pocket as well, or inside of a different pocket. You could definitely bring like even 8 games inside of a pocket if you wanted
charger?
to. You really didn't. Well, the charger, it's a different concept entirely because first of all, the 3DS lasts a long time. Like I have a 3DS.
How long did
I
it
know
last?
that it lasts a long time. I have played 2 days continuously without charging it before.
Okay, never mind.
Obviously, I didn't play a lot. But that's the point. Like if you're out there, you like actually care about spending time with your family, you wouldn't necessarily have the time to consistently play. Right?
Okay, chill out. Don't hurt my geek self. Anyways, like I think I do have a problem with my battery then, because I remember me playing 3 hours in Nintendogs and that console was dead.
I mean, I don't know about the Nintendo DS. Maybe the Nintendo DS died fast.
Yeah, I used the Nintendo DS, yeah.
But the 3DS
Didn't have a 3DS.
was pretty efficient. Is pretty efficient, in fact.
I still
I
might
think
be
like
the battery.
8 hours of continuous gameplay with a single charge, I think. Something like that.
That's decent. Yeah, that's good.
Obviously, like if you're if you have a PC out there or something that is just attached to a cable and doesn't die out, obviously it's not going to be very efficient. But when you're out there and you don't really have access to a charger because like you're working, for example, it's like really useful to know that you have the 3DS and it's gonna last. You know, it's there. It's gonna last.
I mean, like the Steamdeck, I think it lasted a long time too. It lasts between 3 to 12 hours with the new model.
Yeah,
the old
exactly.
model, it lasts only for 2 to 8 hours, which was very bad. But the new model is way better. They had a way bigger battery. Which
I've heard rumors
of
that. Yeah, I do not own a Steam Deck, so I cannot talk about things like battery life, for example. But what I can say is I've heard of people actually like talking about how long the Steam Deck can last whenever like it's put in a real strain, right? And I think what it means in practice
It really depends on the game too.
Exactly. Since it depends on the games, what I think in practice it means is that if you want to use it without having access to a charger, you're basically forced to just choose games that are way underpowered considering its hardware.
For all Cookie Clicker fans, that's your best bet.
It's true. It's definitely true. It's the best way to play Cookie Clicker on the run is definitely Steam Deck.
I mean, like, it has the touchscreen. That's the best way.
It has the touchscreen. Plus, you can go in desktop mode and play the free web browser if you want version.
Yeah, I actually supported the content creators. I love that game. It's pretty good.
It absolutely support content creators, but there's a free version, and in the first place, it may make more sense as well because the Steam Deck, and every single one of Steam's products, in fact, run under Linux. I don't know how Cookie Clicker works, but maybe it only has a Windows version. So, a web browser may just be the closest thing you have to a native
I think
build.
it should still work through the emulation side. It can emulate.
You can obviously you can work you can obviously use Proton, but native builds are always better than running it with Proton.
I mean, like, I don't think you really care about performance in Cookie Clicker. I want to see that cookie get clicked at 1,000 FPS, man.
True, but like I think it's more important when you consider that like the vast majority of the gaming market is all Windows based. So like if you consider
now I think about it, the Steam Deck would be great to play like games like Slime Rancher. It's great.
It's perfect for those games. Yeah. I think another game, although you probably don't know about it, although I mentioned it to you, but you don't know much about it. It's
Maybe.
Fantasy Life 1. Fantasy
Oh,
Life 1, The Girl Who Stole Time, is basically like a nice slice of life type of game where you just do a
yeah.
bunch of repetitive tasks, but they're all really, but they all give you a sense of progression. And I think the Steam Deck would be perfect for it because you could like use it to like de-stress for about a half an hour and then just stop playing and do something more productive, for example.
All right. I mean, like,
Uh,
I would. What about like the new release they're pulling out? For example, like the desktop, like the box, the Steam.
the Steam Machine.
The Steam
Why do you
Machine.
have such a big problem remembering this name?
Because it's so funny saying the Steam box.
To be fair, yeah, I mean it's called the Gaben box. It's been called the Gaben
Gaben
Cube
box.
a lot of
Cube.
times.
Oh,
The
that's
Gaben
actually
Cube.
way better. Somebody beat me to it.
Yeah. The Gaming Cube is actually really, really nice of a name. And if it wasn't for the fact that it's way too similar to the GameCube, honestly, they should have just gone with that one instead of the Steam Machine.
By the way, the spec sheet it was kind of out, was it? Yeah, they already released the spec sheet of the system.
Yeah, especially it was released. I think it's like a 6700 something.
It was a custom CPU from AMD, which I enjoy, but I like seeing AMD getting used more into pre-builds and stuff like that. The GPU was still from AMD. I just don't remember which kind specifically.
All right, let me go and search it.
Sure thing.
The Steam Machine has a GPU that is equivalent to
What?
uh
RTX. Something like RTX level. I don't think
it's
it's gonna run that.
less than an RX 7600, so it's probably at around 6700 level, as I remember.
You ain't running RTX natively on that. Or at all.
Well, you technically can. It's just not a good idea, especially because
Yeah.
it's just not a good idea. At least you don't have the battery issues with the Steam Deck, so at the very least you can at least try it
Wait,
instead of
it's
having to worry
great.
about it.
It's just a cube. You could just like put it inside of a backpack, go to a friend's house, plug it in. Here you go.
That's another that's another thing. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. It's like basically having a portable gaming PC with all the positives of a
ATX,
gaming
yeah.
PC. Yeah,
Exactly. I actually was thinking about it because at the end of the day, you could have already done something exactly like this Steam Cube or this Steam Machine.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like you just get a really small case, put it inside of the living room, and you can make it look nice. And you basically got a Steam
Yeah,
Cube,
in
but it could even be better.
in fact, the real positive about the Steam Machine isn't really its look, because you could have built a computer like that at any time. It's the fact that it comes pre-bundled with SteamOS, which has a lot of controller support and a lot of like what's the term here? Console likeness, basically.
Oh yeah,
That's really the great positive.
For the looks though, I like that you can exchange the front plate. It was magnetic. You know that?
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
it
it's pretty
magnetic?
good.
I don't
Yeah,
really
it's
know, but I know that
if I
you can
remember correctly,
replace
it was
it.
magnetic.
I know that you can replace it. I mean, they didn't mention much in the Steam hardware announcement, which I rewatched specifically for this.
I didn't.
You didn't. I mean, you have great memory, so it was a good idea to not rewatch it. Yes.
I don't have great memory, but my ADHD most likely will remember everything out of it.
Somehow. In one way, in some way.
I work weirdly. Okay.
You don't work. It's different. So right, I was saying, another important thing to really talk about, because I mean we're talking about the Steam releases. How can we not talk about this? To be honest, let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's be real. Every single one of the Steam's products, of Valve's products, have always run SteamOS, which is a Linux-based operating system, specifically based on the Arch.
Yeah, Arch.
I am the expert, so I'm going to the expert in quotation marks. I am the one that was most knowledgeable in this room.
User in Linux.
Exactly. I am an Arch daily user, in fact. So I'm going to take a little bit of I'm going to take the spotlight for a second. I'm sorry. Okay, and I'm going to talk about a little about what this means, right?
Go ahead.
Mostly
I
like
wanna-
to
I wanna
like
hear it.
start have exactly. SteamOS is a rolling based distro, right? What it means is basically there's no such thing as a Windows, there's no such thing as an Arch 10, Arch 11, Arch 12 like on Windows, where there's massive upgrades, right? In quotation marks, obviously, for Windows, but that's besides the point, right?
Windows 11 really disappointed me.
Windows 11 is really disappointing. It has made it so that Mac users, Linux users, and Windows users can all agree on one thing, is what I will say.
Yes.
Windows 11 sucks. But the main point is Arch doesn't have those. Arch constantly gets updated, and that's really important for gaming purposes. Because as I said, the vast majority of the gaming market is obviously Windows based, right? So if you want to run those games on Linux, you're going to have to use necessarily Proton, which is a compatibility layer, which basically grabs Windows APIs and spits out Linux calls. It's basically what it does.
It's just a
because of
translator
that,
from Windows to Linux.
and don't call it an emulator. People will get mad,
translator.
myself included. You called it an emulator before.
Okay, then it's an emulator. Fuck you.
Right, so you're gonna have to use Proton, and obviously
Emulator.
Proton comes with a couple of problems, right? First of all, since it's a compatibility layer, there's going to be a little less. You're gonna have a bit of a problem with the performance, right? It's not going to be a massive performance loss, but
Around,
obviously,
like,
if there were
5 to 10
native
FPS
builds, they
depending on
would
the
work
title.
better.
Depends on the
Another
title,
big deal. Another big deal is the fact that if there are a kernel level anti-cheat, it cannot work because of how Proton works, right? It just doesn't work. So they either have a dumbed down version of the anti-cheat for Linux users, or they just don't allow you in. And I am mentioning this because it will be a point of discussion soon.
Okay. But
And
did you
final point, yeah.
did you notice one of the things that everybody always misses about the Steam machine is the fact that you can extend your memory not only through actually opening it up and changing the SSD, but there's a micro SD on the front.
That's true.
Nobody-
That's true. And there's
Nobody
some
talks about it. I really don't like the fact that nobody talks about it.
I mean, I don't talk about it, and I will stop talking about the OS now, especially because I've said most of the points that I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about. The reason why I don't really talk about it is that I've always had issues with micro SD cards. It's true that I had issues with micro SD cards when it came to Windows, but I
Like
don't think
what?
it would change much. They aren't that fast. They are a bit of a pain to use, and I probably prefer to have an SSD and purchase an SSD instead of purchasing an SD card.
That's obvious, but like, hear me out. Usually SD cards are smaller. Like, we're talking about like 128 gigs or 250.
That's not true, actually. There have been 1 terabyte SD SSD.
Yeah, but you're not
micro SD cards.
spending $1,000 on an SD card when you could spend
We're
way
not talking
less.
about $1,000.
How
Fancy. We're
expensive
talking
are these cards?
100 max, maybe 120.
100? I don't trust it.
I will check for you since I am not the one recording. I can in fact check.
In the meantime, I will go ahead and say that I would use the SD card, especially because there is a performance dip because of the slower reading speeds. I would say I would put there titles that are not really necessary to run fast. For example, like some indie titles, or even some, for example, how we said before, Cookie Clicker would be great. I'm a Cookie Clicker
All right,
player.
no, okay.
Even if
You
you
are
ain't playing
right.
Cookie
The
Clicker
1
on the
terabyte
couch.
SSD cards, to be fair, are a little bit more expensive at 383 euros.
Yeah, they
You
are
correct.
hella expensive. It's better
But
to
the
just buy
512 gigabytes
SD.
are more than purchasable at 178.
I mean, like,
But,
I would just put indie titles or something that is light, something that
I would like to
doesn't
remember
need
that we
speed.
are currently in an NAND apocalypse, so I'm not 100% certain on these prices.
I don't think SD cards are really hit that hard, especially because they're not really the target.
True, but
RAM
the
sock.
issue is that fundamentally is there's a first of all there's a lack of wafers. Then there's a lack of NAND, and this leads to problems with RAM, SSDs, and SATA SSDs, and obviously also micro SD cards. So I think they probably needed to increase their prices as well.
I don't think by
I
that
found
much,
cheaper,
but still.
basically what I mean to say. I found
okay,
cheaper
okay.
before. because I
But-
was interested for getting an SD card for a 3DS, basically.
For all the people that actually like 4K gaming, the Steam machine can do it. It's like 4K
I mean, I can do it with FSR
120
though.
or 240. I don't remember.
I mean, I can do it with FSR though. It's really that good
It
of an
depends on the
idea.
title. Some titles you're gonna need FSR to actually go to those speeds. Or if you're like a freak of like resolution or something like that, you could even do like 8K 60. Even if I still think that 8K gaming is not there yet. It's not there yet.
It's not that
60
8K gaming isn't there yet. It's just that the size of screens just doesn't justify 8K.
I mean, like if you're playing on a TV, in that case, yes. Like the Steam
In
machine.
fact, a lot of people say, although I don't know about this, maybe you who are
Yeah.
more interested in these kinds of resolutions can talk about it.
No, not
I've heard
really.
that 4K actually isn't that great either. And then a lot of people say rather you should probably purchase a Quad HD OLED over a 4K display.
Okay, I would stop at 2K. I don't care anything higher than that because sincerely the margin of resolution doesn't change that much. It doesn't justify the extra resolution for even the price difference. Sincerely.
I see. All right. I personally don't care. I mean, I'm currently running VR chat on a 1080p 75 FPS screen. The only thing I cared about was size. So yeah.
The only thing I really cared about was kind of size. I'm like a 27-inch at 1080p, but I really was really focused on hertz. I got a 165 hertz display. I know that I could have got maybe a 240 for a little bit more expensive models, but this is what was on discount, so this is what I got.
Yeah, not the richest guys here.
No, not really.
But I mean, the reason why I care so little about refresh rate and he does is because we fundamentally just play different games. He plays a lot of shooters. I don't. I kind of don't like shooters at all.
I like smoothness in general. After going for a high refresh rate, your eyes really want a high refresh rate. I would even.
I mean, obviously, yeah, that makes
165
sense.
even in Minecraft. For fuck's sakes.
I mean, it makes complete sense. Yeah, it makes complete sense. But the problem is the Minecraft you play with guns. So
play with guns. I just it's funny using some mods here and there. But even like if I'm not playing with guns, if I'm just building, chilling, I still want 165 because it's smoother, it's calmer. I like it.
So another point that I wanted to make was that I mentioned that Steam Machine cannot run games with kernel level anti-cheat, and the reason why I mentioned it is actually because of people saying that the Steam Machine is a direct competitor to consoles, and I think this is a really important point to make. It isn't. At all.
It really isn't. Yeah,
it's
it
not.
wouldn't even go
It's
close.
not gonna. It's exactly. I'm gonna ask you, Francie. You have a lot of normie friends that play on consoles. What exactly are the typical
myself.
games? Well, yeah, but you don't. Okay, you're not a typical console gamer. Okay, let's be honest.
Depends.
What do normal people play on consoles? What are the typical games they play on there?
A lot of people play AAA games. Some other people play even games that are good for couch play for multiple people. It really depends on the players, to be fair, but usually in every single sector except for playability with others, PC always wins. Even considering like the predatory tactics of like the consoles that are coming out. Sincerely, PlayStation Plus ain't it. It's too expensive for what they give.
Absolutely, and that's the reason why a lot of people say that this could be like the perfect competitor against consoles, because it has a console-like aesthetic, right? But it does. You don't have to pay for online and things like that, because obviously on PC that's not a thing. It doesn't exist. You don't have
even the
services
prices are way different. It's completely another market.
The prices
Games
are
cost
completely
way more
different. The
console.
Steam Machine costs way more money, but I repeat, you don't have to pay for a subscription. That's why people say that. And besides, when you compare it to a PS5 Pro, there isn't that much of a price increase.
Exactly. I mean, like the PlayStation
But
5
another
Pro
main point about the
sucks.
Steam Machine
It's
is
too
if you
expensive for
you buy the games on the Steam Machine, you don't have to buy them again if you buy the next Steam Machine. They worked before, they will work now.
Exactly.
And
So
I see
like,
all of these make sense, but people really forget about a main point, like a really important point about console gamers. They really cannot be bothered, like at
I mean,
all.
like, they just want to buy that thing, and that thing just works
Yeah, I
straight
mean,
out of the box.
okay, like I want to be very clear. Linux to Windows gamers is stupidly complicated, right?
I don't get it though.
Sometimes.
It depends.
To
There's way
console
more
gamers,
issues.
Windows is stupidly complicated.
It
So
isn't though.
It absolutely isn't. Just like Linux isn't stupidly complicated all the time, right?
Most.
Like all the time. It's not it's there. Sometimes it is extremely complicated, and I say it as a Linux user, as a daily user. But other times, you just you just download a game, run it, and it just runs. Good example, although I don't really have good examples because I'm not a huge gamer. A good example is Power Wash Simulator 2. You just download it and it just runs.
You play that game way too much.
Real.
Well, you're gonna love the Steam Machine for playing Power Wash Simulator. You just like step back and play.
Not
you know?
really. I mean, I already have a Steam Machine in quotation marks. It's my computer.
Just
Because
plug it into the TV and just sit down on the couch. You know.
That's the
With a
thing,
controller.
right? It's not really a console. It's a PC, and you feel it from the fact that it's not exactly like a console. And one main point about consoles that the Steam Machine just will never be able to deal with is the fact that you're never going to play Battlefield 6, FIFA 26, or whatever other game that you can think of on it.
GTA Online, you cannot play either.
GTA Online that since they recently decided that Linux shouldn't play games. Yeah, that's a thing. Oh, by the way, if you're on Windows 10 and you run GTA 5, you don't need secure boot, so you can use a bunch of cheats that utilize the fact that you don't have secure boot. This is true.
I didn't know. I didn't know that kind of stuff. And I'm on
Well, I
Windows
know
and play
because
GTA.
I'm on Linux and I don't have secure boot on, and I can still run GTA 5 even though I don't have secure boot on. So yeah.
I don't think the anti-cheat actually uses much of secure boot. I don't think it does.
Probably not, but mostly because since it's kernel level anti-cheat, it can probably still detect it in some way.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, it's gonna detect it either way.
But then it makes me wonder, why is secure boot even required on Windows 11?
The cheating kind of died on GTA. Now it's only like very high expensive paid clients, and it's not even sure that you're not gonna get banned, or only invite only. Some clients have perfect bypasses, but are only on invites. You cannot even pay. Nothing. Which is,
I guess,
completely
that's better for
another
the
world.
I guess that's better for the ecosystem.
It's better.
Although,
it's better that Linux is not there anymore, I guess. Just kidding, of course.
I mean,
joking.
that's that's what I would say as well. Like, I would say literally, okay, I get it. All right, it's fine. Linux makes it easier to cheat, so I understand that these games just cannot run on the operating system. I could understand.
I think that Linux wasn't able to cheat, period, because the cheats didn't even work there.
Because Proton is a compatibility layer. It just makes it so that the games run. It doesn't really attempt to actually emulate Windows.
Yeah.
It's just not emulating Windows. In fact, you want to know why if you go on the TeamSpeak server we're currently on, you will see that I'm on Windows. It's because Proton does not even try to emulate cameras. If I want to use selfie expression on VRChat, I'm forced on Windows. And believe me, I tried hundreds of methods to get this to work on Linux using OSC. And it didn't work. I even found a method that actually sent in a bunch of data for OSC and VRChat, and it genuinely worked. Everything was working. The model just didn't work. It just didn't move.
Man, but that's all your Linux issues, man. It's just Linux issues.
True, it's just Linux issues. But I mean, the point is, it doesn't really emulate everything, and so it's probable that it can't even cheat. Let's say that it could cheat. And I could get it. I get it. All right. Let's say that on Linux it's easier to cheat, so you have to stop Linux users. But what happened to server-side anti-cheat?
Server side? What do you mean server side anti-cheat?
Most anti-cheat right now that we're running is all client-sided.
Oh, you're saying why don't they have it on the
They
server?
could definitely have a server-side anti-cheat. Allow
Depends
Linux
on the
users
game,
in,
though, because
and have even better performance on Windows, because we all know the kernel level anti-cheat ruins performance in games.
no, this is the thing. This is the thing, though. Some games cannot have a server side. For example, like GTA doesn't have a server. It's all peer to peer. So server side.
It makes sense for some games, mind you. I get it, but like, are you telling me that Battlefield, the Battlefield 6, Battlefield 5, or what? No, Battlefield 2042, that had like 128 player lobbies, I believe, or maybe it was Halo Infinite. I don't remember. Are you telling me that those run under peer to peer too?
No,
probably
no,
not. They have dedicated servers. They could definitely host server side anti-cheat.
I think I know why. Cheats are a little bit more advanced than they used to. So now they're not trying to find what looks like a cheat. They are because they are too hidden. They try to find the cheats inside of your system directly. It's like a way to bypass it, you know?
I mean, I don't think so. I personally just think that it's about saving costs. They can instead of running the anti-cheat on their servers, right? They just run it on the client's machines, and it's like, you want to play our game, then just deal with this. But the main issue that I have is the fact that what you're running is essentially something that can read every single information on your computer. Now, I'm not the kind of person to worry about privacy. I really don't. Okay. But fundamentally, when you have something like a kernel level anti-cheat, you're basically just saying, okay, here's my data, steal it. Like, you're literally just saying that.
So really, I don't really care, man. The only thing I really care about, the only thing I really care about is performance, because it really takes a hit of performance. That's the only thing.
I get it, but like that's the point. Like, spyware is basically a hit on performance, right? This is basically malware, because that's what kernel level anti-cheat is. It's basically malware. I just don't really like the practice, and it's the reason why as a Linux user, I call it a feature that I can't run kernel level anti-cheat games, honestly.
And I call it a problem, because a lot of games that I use kernel level anti-cheat.
But the main point, the point is, you can only be a console competitor if you can run those games. Because if you can't run those games, you can't be a console competitor. Because those games won't run, and a lot of people buy consoles just to run things like FIFA 26 and GTA 5 and all these kinds of games. There's people that like buy massive PS5 Pros to then proceed to not play any games. AAA gaming, Linux can do. I played Spider-Man. Remastered. It was an amazing game, and I didn't need to do anything. I also played Spider-Man Miles Morales. The only thing I needed to do? No, I didn't need to do it. I just preferred to do it because it gave me better performance. I used a better community-driven version of Proton, but that's it. That's literally it.
It's just that
easy to change.
For me, I have an issue even with what if a game is not natively supported? What if I needed to do way more steps than I needed to? Sometimes I install something, 100% is gonna work. I don't need to do anything else. Everything runs the same, basically. That's what I really enjoy of Windows.
Sure.
But I still see the all the good things about the SteamOS too. I mean, like, I would love to just sit back into a couch and play my games just fine, and especially with the controller support that Steam is really concentrating himself on. A lot of games are just gonna play outside of the box, just like that. I mean, like,
well, yeah.
And talking about the controllers, like, even the games that are not compatible with the controllers, they are trying to even fix that too, because, like, you know that not every single game you can play with a controller. That's obvious, of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's games where you like have to press 100,000 buttons, and it's just never gonna work.
Yeah, no, of course, because for example, like, if you gotta play games like I don't know,
I mean, I think a great example would probably be Cookie Clicker, in my personal opinion. Although you can give an opinion.
I didn't want to do Cookie Clicker again. I gotta play that.
Well,
game.
I mean, it's a really good example.
Yeah, it's a really great example. No, I mean like even Minecraft with a lot of mods. You know, Minecraft Java
As well
doesn't
that,
run.
yeah,
Run
my
with a controller. And I would love to play Minecraft on my TV just fine. They actually went outside of their way to make the next Steam release, the Steam controller, that they had an older version prior to this new controller that they made. If I remember correctly, there was another controller, was it? Was there? There was an
Yeah, the Steam
one.
controller is new. There was an older one. A lot of people actually really like the older Steam controller. In fact, they kept it for a really long time. So I'm sure the announcement of a new Steam controller was really great for them.
I mean, like, the new Steam controller really fixed a lot of complaints that the Steam controller had. A lot of people really liked the layout of the Steam Deck. So they put the layout of the Steam Deck on the Steam controller. They just grabbed it and, like, whoop, put it way smaller and on a controller. I kind of like that kind of stuff. They actually listen to the community. I'm sure that the people that actually upgrade from the old controller to the new one are gonna find themselves pretty nice to it. Even if the old controller doesn't have anything natively bad, the second that you actually go ahead and get used to it, it's gonna be fine.
Well, I'm going to actually say a very subjective opinion. I understand the point that you're trying to make, and I genuinely do think that if you want to run games, if you want to run a PC kind of like experience using a controller, that's the only layout you can kind of use because you need a trackpad of sorts, right?
Yes.
But I will say, when I grab a controller, I want to use a controller, right? I don't want trackpads. I don't want a massive space. And another thing that I absolutely do not like, although I repeat, all of this is pretty subjective, is the fact that what I've noticed is that the Steam controller uses the PlayStation layout.
Oh yeah.
It uses the PlayStation layout, and what I mean is the sticks. Because so long as we're talking about the buttons, I really don't care about those. Okay, it uses PlayStation style buttons. I can get used to it. But the layout of the sticks, I just can't. I just can't do it. I've used an Xbox controller for too long, man. Right?
I used both in a way that I actually got used to both layouts just fine. The only layout I cannot put my mind to it is that Nintendo Switch layout. It really sucks. Why the fuck is the position of the A button the go back button?
We're basically backwards.
Yeah, it's backwards. It's switched.
We're basically backwards. I'm saying I can get easily used to combat to different buttons, but I can't get used to sticks. To you, it's like, no, I can get used to sticks, but the buttons. Now the buttons are a problem.
It's irrelevant to the buttons because they are all the same. In every single game, they use exactly the same exact buttons. The exact position of the buttons.
Okay, yeah, that's true, but like in my head, I have an Xbox 360 controller, so if you tell me press X, I genuinely have got no idea.
You look at the tooltips.
Yeah, I don't. Yes.
That's the thing, I don't. That's why. For me, the buttons.
Well, yeah, okay, you're a fucking genius that can like play any game just by simply fucking trying, but I don't.
I mean, like, they all follow the same idea, you know.
I mean,
guess the button to jump. Is it gonna be Y? No, it's gonna be A.
Actually, there are some games in which I think the jump button was changed to Y because it was
I know,
more
but
efficient.
if A doesn't work, I just click Y instinctively.
Yeah, no, I don't really have that instinct. To me, like I gotta have someone like telling me, okay, what the fuck do I gotta do? Okay, it's like it's a necessity.
Yeah.
For example, whilst I think, okay, I personally, for example, let's take example of a Spider-Man remastered, right? It teaches you how to swing, right? And you have to press RT, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's very obvious that you'd have to press RT if you think about it, because it's the only trigger that's like capacitive enough to be able to have like a very, very expansive movement set, right? But if they didn't tell me, honestly, it could have been literally any button, and I wouldn't have known. I'm gonna be very honest.
Well, yeah, actually, you're right. I've never guessed RT either. I'm guessing though, a button like X is gonna be for attacking though.
Yeah, true. X is for attacking, but Y is also for attacking.
different kinds of attacks, just like this Smash.
Obviously.
Just like Smash.
Obviously.
Um,
What did B do again? Oh yeah, you dodged with B.
it makes sense.
That one is completely.
No,
Yeah,
that
no.
makes
To me,
sense
no.
in my head.
To me, no.
It
to me, no.
does into my head.
It makes sense in the sense
A
of, okay,
jump.
well, you gotta
A is
jump with
jump.
A, you gotta attack
Yeah.
with X and Y. Well, I guess dodge will probably be B, but if you ask me to like make that, if you ask me to like make that connection without knowing the layout of the rest of the game, I wouldn't be able to. So
I played a lot
yeah.
of games where B is gonna be to dodge. For example, like I played the Gory Cuddly Carnage. Great game. A lot of people don't play it. I think it's underrated, but you dodge with B, which is, I think maybe there where I did the connection. But I know a lot of other games where you still
Basically,
dodge
yeah,
with
he
B.
has played so many games in his life, which makes complete sense. He's a huge gamer, not like me. I've gotten less and
I
less
just
of a
like
gamer over the
playing a
years.
lot of games. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotta-
there's nothing wrong with it.
Got a small library of like 480. Okay, on only Steam. It's just a little bit.
Yeah, I only have like 50 games in total.
Most
Like
of them are just
54
because
to be
I told
exact.
you to get them.
Yeah, right. I like the only games that I really care about is like some one shot mods, some Portal mods, because I actually genuinely like Portal, even though you were the one that made me learn about it.
Like Portal is a great game.
And
We
what?
should
Power
play it
Wash
again.
Simulator. Yeah, Power Wash Simulator 2. Right now it's Power Wash Simulator 2.
You're gonna get
Which is the reason
first
why
one,
I
too.
could switch to Linux so easily, in fact. It's because all of my games easily run on Linux just fine.
I mean, like, you're just gonna take 20 minutes to check every single game on your library. For me, it's gonna take 5 days to check every single game on my library. Not even that.
I mean, most of your games probably don't run, to be honest. Because you got Battlefield, you got like what else?
Yeah.
What else do you have? GTA 5. All those games won't run. And I think already those games are enough to just keep you on the operating system.
Yeah, especially GTA because I've been playing a lot. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
I've
gonna be
noticed
a
actually.
deal breaker. Yeah.
Ever since I started again opening Steam alongside my computer, I've noticed that basically you're like, okay, I'm gonna play this game, GTA 5. I'm gonna play this game, GTA 5. I'm gonna play this game, GTA 5. It's like it's a constant switch between like GTA 5 game, GTA 5 game.
I mean, like, yeah, for now, I'm kind of toning it down a little bit because I'm more focusing on games like Ultra Kill that I recently got, and games even like what other games? I don't know. Really thinking about it.
Incredible. Right, where was I?
Ultra Kill and
Rather,
Ultra
where
Kill.
were we? Where were we? We were talking about the Steam controller. Yes. So what I was
Yes.
saying is basically, I don't really have a problem with the layout of the buttons, although it is the Xbox 360 layout, so that is a positive. But the problem that I have is rather the stick positioning, because I just can't get used to it, and I don't really like it as well because of another big issue for me, which is the fact that I repeat, like 50% of the fucking controller is just a trackpads.
I mean, like, yes.
One thing that I will say is perhaps it will be easier to hold because of that, but I'm not 100% certain.
I think they chose this kind of layout, especially because of the trackpads are exactly in the same position, just a little bit lower.
Well, yeah.
I like the fact that they have chosen a magnet recharge dock. So like you just recharge it magnetically.
Is it really that big of a deal?
Yes, because after a while that you play with a controller while it's wired, while moving the controller, the wire starts to break, especially on the metal part where you connect it. That's something that happened with a lot of wires in my life, especially because I played a lot on console, and so I needed to switch a lot of wires because of that. With a magnetic, I would think that you're not gonna have that kind of issue, especially because it's all magnetic and just disconnects if you pull it too much.
Okay, absolutely. But what I will say is I've used the same controller for about 7 years now. The same like $20, absolutely off-branded Xbox 360 controller for about 7 to 8 years now, and I've never had any issues with the cable. Never.
I mean, like, is it integrated?
It is integrated, so I guess that's the point.
That's the problem, because I'm talking about like mini USB cables. Those ones are easier to break.
Really?
Because
but wouldn't they be easy to replace though?
Yes and not really, because you need at least a wire that supports data transfer, especially the faster data transfer. So I think you at least needed a 2.0 or a 3.0, which 2.0s are easier to find, but not every single 2.0 weirdly works. So I usually need to find a 2.0 or a 3.0 wire that actually connects with my PlayStation 4 controller. A lot of
So
wires just
basically,
don't
the
work.
issue is USB-C, as usual, is very fucked up.
There's no USB-C actually. It's mini USB. Which one was the maximum for mini USB? Which one was the maximum? I think 2.0
I mean, if
or
it's
3.0.
mini USB, it shouldn't be particularly high.
Yeah. That's actually mini USB.
But like,
The
are you
PlayStation
sure that it
4, it's
runs on
mini USB.
mini USB and not
Yeah.
USB-C? Like the Steam controller runs on USB-C. I've seen it.
No, the PlayStation 4, which I used, and it needed to change all the
Oh
times the
right,
wire.
when PlayStation 4 came out, I don't think USB-C was even a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't really. No, it was a thing. It
Uh,
wasn't a standard. It wasn't a standard at all.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't like a
think.
standard. It was like it wasn't a thing yet. There was
Yeah,
only micro
exactly.
USB at the time, but I guess they probably chose for mini USB because it made more sense.
Wait, micro and mini. Wait a second. Maybe I'm confusing it because it needs to be the flat one. You know the phones, the old connector.
Okay, yeah, the phones also had mini USB at the time.
Okay, then it's that
What I
one.
meant is like the microphone. Is it the microphone's cable?
Yeah, it's the same
The
cable.
one that I have. Cool. All right. In that case, it's a micro USB, not a mini USB.
It's a micro.
Yeah, it's micro.
Okay, mini. I think it's for the PlayStation 3. I think it was a
Alright,
micro.
makes
It
sense.
was a micro USB. Those ones are delicate compared. Those are.
In that case, I'd like to. In that case, I wonder if you had a USB-C controller, if you would have instead a better experience, because it's faster as a standard, and so you could like pick any
No,
cable.
USB-C is even more durable than micro USB. And I think
It's true.
USB-C, yeah, it would have been better. I'm sure of it.
Like, oh yeah, okay. In that case, I'm gonna ask again: is it really that big of a deal that that it has a magnetic charger? I can see the appeal in the sense of like you can keep the charger in one spot and then you can just place and then you can just place and deplace the controller whenever you want to.
Exactly, on the spot. Not that big. I think it's just at least it's different, you know.
Well, that's true, absolutely. Especially the magnetic sticks that exist on the Steam Deck as well.
Ooh,
Those are going to be
yes.
important.
Those are really, really good.
In fact, it's the only reason why I've been feeling like I need to change my controller. I've had stick drift for way too long. Way too long.
You can actually fix it. I know how to fix it.
I'm not gonna fix it now. I've gotten used to it. I'm sorry, but
Oh, okay.
like I was playing Banjo Recompiled,
Yeah.
which is a project for recompiling Banjo Kazooie, and the stick drift got so bad that the menus bugged out.
The menu itself.
Yeah,
That's insane.
to the point where I had to use the D-pad. I had to. I couldn't use the joystick to navigate the menus. It just bugged out all the time.
Whoa.
Honestly, it's probably because the menus are simply too sensitive movement, but
Maybe I mean,
irrelevant.
like, I kind of had the same exact problem with like a PlayStation 2 controller that really had massive stick drift, but I was able to handle it by just holding the stick a little bit more down than usual. So I would actually play the game with a stick slightly down constantly to get no stick drift.
As you can tell, our probably non-existent dear audience, we are very, very rich. So we have a lot of nice stories to talk about regarding how we kept very, very, very well-working tech alive for way too long.
Back in my day, the fix to stick drift was to get a bunch of rubber bands and make the perfect contraption on your controller.
I mean, as someone who used a broken a phone with a broken screen for like a year, I will say,
Could never be
it's
me.
not. It's not. These are rookie numbers, mate. Using a controller with a bit of stick drift. I have to worry about cutting my fucking hand open. Oh, by the way, I'm currently using a tablet that's currently completely smashed out in terms of screen.
Ooh.
It costs too much to fix it, so can't do much about it. All right, guess we're moving on to
Screen
our final
protectors are a
point
thing,
of
though.
talking. Since how much time have we got left for this episode?
Uh, uh,
I believe in you.
52 minutes we're in.
Okay, well, I guess we got enough time to talk about kind of the less important part of this entire discussion, mostly because we both have very meh opinions on it, which is the Steam frame.
Oh, the Steam frame. Yeah.
Yeah. You are the expert in this case, since you are currently in VR, in fact, so please allow us to hear your opinion.
Okay, so the Steam frame was basically the call on trying to fix the problem with everybody wanting to go with wireless, especially because of the appeal to the Quest 2. The Quest 2 is basically completely wireless, no problems. But it had a lot of issues of its own. A lot of users thought that the Quest 3 is gonna actually fix the problems with like the bandwidth, because for an example, you know, like on YouTube, where when there is a scene with too many things moving, the bitrate goes down a lot.
Yeah.
The same exact thing
Tom
in
Scott
VR.
and the confetti.
Same exact thing in VR, which it was
Ooh.
horrible, especially because you are in it. So the second that your vision becomes a painting from the who knows how back then, you really feel nauseous because of it. The Quest 3 decided to look at that problem and ignore it and have the same exact problem for the next generation. Because it was a little bit too expensive to go ahead and find a fix, I guess.
And especially, I'm gonna guess, right? I'm guessing here. There
Yeah.
probably wasn't much in terms of competition in the area.
No, there wasn't much of competition. Oh, you get
Yeah,
a Quest,
exactly.
or you go wired.
Exactly.
There's some headsets. They're way less known, and so people are more scared of actually going for them. Big Screen Beyond, I think, was wireless. I'm not completely sure. I could be saying bullshit right now. But the Big Screen Beyond, if I said something like that, you would be like, what? What are you talking about? Every single VR player knows, especially the ones that are like more known and stuff like that. The Steam View decided that shouldn't be a problem for VR. So they decided to have a completely separate adapter that uses a completely different Wi-Fi band, to actually transmit data from. So they're able to have a completely wireless connection without worrying too much about bitrate. I still doubt that in scenes where there is a lot of things going on, that is not gonna be an issue. I'm sure there's gonna still be an issue, just way less than it was for the Quest. I'm still not a fan of the Steam View either way, especially because I have to worry about the battery. The second that I have to worry about the battery, for me, it's already a deal breaker. Period.
Makes sense. I mean, I don't really understand in terms of VR headsets because I can't really use VR as my eyes burn in exactly 10 minutes. But I use headphones, and I really hate Bluetooth headphones for the exact same reason. The idea that my headphones can die because of the fact that they just decided to. They just decided that it's time to die, to me is ridiculous. The idea of instead having headphones that can last for years, and they've been proven to last for years so long as you take care of them, is really important.
I mean, like,
I guess in practice it's basically the same thing for VRs.
I mean, like, it's basically the same thing. Then I think about it. I actually had an headset where that was Bluetooth, but you were able to just connect it through the aux. So it had an aux port, so you could just use it at normal headphones, which it was really cool. But then I noticed that I used the aux a lot of times, just to not worry about the battery. So it was completely useless.
I mean, I'm the kind of person that can sit down and listen to music for hours, and the idea of having limitations on it because at a certain point I will just hear battery low or some other bullshit is already ridiculous to me. So I imagine, like, if you're playing on VR and you like play extensively, like a lot of VR chat users, I imagine it's probably a huge deal.
Okay,
I
Beat
think
Saber.
most
Actually, I'm
people
gonna
would
talk
get
about it a little bit
disoriented by
later.
like the second hour.
Beat Saber, I'm gonna talk about it a bit later because there is a lot of issues even for tracking because they're
If we
using
have
inside
time.
out to tracking. Inside out is basically without the sensors that are in the front, and they are actually on your headset itself, which is a problem which from your hand to your headset can get occluded. So you have way worse tracking because of it, and the tracking is not as precise or as fast. You won't notice it normally, but in games like Beat Saber, you actually will notice. I actually did. I tried inside out tracking. It was horrible for me. Wasn't able to actually play Beat Saber because of it. Some people play Beat Saber just fine with that kind of tracking, but they actually, their head already got used to the delay. That's the problem. I cannot get used to the delay. So for me, it's a no go. As long as it doesn't, if it doesn't have the base stations, for me it's a no go. A lot of people actually don't like having base stations because they already feel like there's more setting up to do, which is kind of true, but it's so much worth it compared. And one thing that actually made me really think, or like they think I said about the Bluetooth headphones that at the end I just use them with the aux all the times. It's the same thing with the Quest 2, actually. I think about it. Because the Quest 2 had a problem where a lot of users, they use the headset for like even 2 years and stuff like that, would actually start using the headset while it's on charge because the headset wouldn't last enough time. So they would start using the headset that wasn't so on charge, and so the battery would start to degrade faster. And there were points where people were not even able to play for half an hour until the headset completely died. So what happens is that they go ahead and play with the headset constantly connected to the
Half an
computer.
hour.
Yeah.
That's not a lot. Why? Why did it last so
Why?
little?
Because the battery degrades and the headset itself it uses a lot of power, especially because if you think about it, if you open
Well,
a
yeah.
game on
Okay.
your
So like when
phone,
you're just starting out, right? When like the
yeah,
battery is healthy, then how long does it last? About.
I think around 4 to maybe 6 hours, depending on the application, and it even depends if you're running it locally or you're running it for your computer and then you're streaming it on the headset, because that means that it's using less processing power. So it
I've
completely
seen it. In
depends.
fact, I've seen that that Steam mostly advertises the Steam frame as something that you'd use alongside a computer rather than like as a standalone thing. They do say it's a
Yeah,
standalone thing. You can install games on it because it's a PC. But they also say, but like the main point is like they talk about the Steam frame as something that you can wireless connect to the computer
it's
and
the
use it
biggest
with the
point.
computer.
It's the biggest point. This is the
I guess
thing.
it's I guess it's for that
Think
reason then.
I don't think they actually say how much time it stays on. No, they don't. I'm checking
They don't
right
say it.
now.
I rewatched the Steam hardware announcement, so I can
People
tell you
are
that
guessing
they
though.
don't say
People
it.
are guessing, and people guessed around 2 to even 5 hours, which it makes me think that the Quest 2 maybe last even less because of it. Um,
True.
this
A
is
lot
the
of people have
thing.
positive expectations for Valve, so it would make sense that they think they would make a better product.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Those times, it's including that the battery is completely new. The second that the battery becomes older, they start to deplete faster. That's how batteries work.
Well, yeah,
And
I would
or
know.
so if you tell me, okay, you have this VR headset, but after like 2 years of usage, you're gonna need to spend another 100 to 80 bucks for a new battery every single time. I would see the price as a little bit misleading. I mean, like I could have a headset for like 500 and then never change the battery, or just have this Steam View. It could cost less, but then I'm gonna
Steam
reach to
frame,
the
by the way.
same Steam frame. Sorry. We're gonna go ahead and have a Steam frame. Then needing to change the battery so many times that I'm just gonna go back to the same exact price, of even over, depending on many years I actually have it. Which for some people is not a problem if money is not an issue, because I know a lot of
Well,
users that are gonna get.
I can think about it this way. It's like basically some users, some of those users may think about it, may think about it like this. No guarantees, but may think about it like this. They may think about it like, by the time the Quest has run out of battery and is constantly degrading, it will probably be a good idea to upgrade anyways because the technology will advance enough. In my personal
And
opinion,
that was wrong for a lot of people though, because the batteries degraded way faster than a new Quest would come out. Some people actually swapped out free quests. Could you say quests? I don't know. It's free quests. Free quests before being able to get a new model. A quest free, which is insane.
Okay,
expensive.
I think that's fundamentally just buying the wrong product. Like if you're using VR so extensively that you are basically having battery degradation almost immediately, you should buy a cabled VR headset for your uses.
This is the thing, though. I know that you don't know which models are there, but like if you would tell me a new headset that you can get out right now for new, and it's wired, they're hella expensive. I cannot tell you to get a new headset and pay little out of it, because the second that a new headset comes out, the old one goes completely without support, so you can only get used. Sorry. So if you want to get a new headset that is wired, you need to get a top of the line. You cannot get anything in between. If you want to get used, though, you have a way bigger choice, because you can get maybe an ATC or a CV1. I got a CV1, for example. It's way cheap. It's one of the cheapest headsets that you can get right now. I got mine for $80, which is insane. $80, full-edged VR headset, no need to worry about battery. Way better tracking than a Quest 3 or even the 2. And I get way more. The only downside is maybe the screen quality, and that's it. I just get used to it. Otherwise, you're gonna need to get like a CV, an HTC 2, which is around 1,200, if I'm not wrong. It's a bit of a big difference. Valve Index, if you go ahead and wanted to get it used, you can find it around 500 or even lower that, which is a great deal, especially for what you get, a top-of-the-line VR headset. For such a price, it's really good. But a lot of people don't trust the used market. Even with the amazing policies that eBay has with consumer protection, people still don't trust it, and they won't actually go ahead and try to get something used. So, or it's new or it's nothing, they go ahead and get the Quest. It's way cheaper, even if they're gonna need to spend way more in batteries or even in new units, because oh dear God, if you want to dismantle a Quest, it's gonna be insanely difficult.
Well, okay, I think you made quite the point. I'm sad that I couldn't talk about it much, but I repeat, when it comes to VR, I just can't. It's just not possible for me. All right, well, I think that's a good time to wrap the podcast episode up. Not only because one of the hosts needs to go and eat for a dinner, but also because I think we have around reached 1 hour, which is the average duration of episode that we would like to have in these episodes, in these podcasts. We like to talk a lot, so expect to see a lot of these getting posted quite quickly.
The second that we start talking about video games or music, we are doomed.
Especially when it comes to music. Damn, if we ever have an opportunity to have a singular episode, like an episode where we're just like alone with maybe like one or two other guests, I would definitely like to talk a lot about orchestra, because I don't know how much I could talk about orchestra.
But I would like to have more guests.
Definitely,
if we're talking about music. If we talk about music, we need more
Absolutely.
guests.
Invite a bunch of people, although they gotta be able to talk and gotta be able to go on Teams, because I'm not going on Discord for them.
Right, it's okay. I mean, like,
All
my
right.
kind of music is just like electronic.
All right, this was the FranciCast, first episode specifically, but this was the FranciCast, and I'm your host, Francesco.
And I'm Francesco.
Exactly, and we're signing off.
Bye.